Hi guys, I am Jeffrey Green and this is my son Akai Green.
Hey guys, just welcome to our podcast Jungle Talks, where we're going to be coming to you with exclusive content of our opinions on the show Into the Jungle with Ed Stafford.
Into the Jungle is a Channel 4 TV series with Ed Stafford, where Ed Stafford take British dads and their children into the jungle to help us form better bond between parent and child. He forced us to undergo really tough conditions to help us form that better bond that we need.
Into the Jungle is a show where, Ed Stafford has put us to the test, father and son, to see if our relationship is as strong as we think it is. So by now, I'm sure that you've seen the first episode, and we just thought that we'd give you a little inside perspective of what we thought and how things really went down.
So as Akai said, by now you should have seen the first episode, and we know that you would definitely like to know what our experiences were behind the camera, how we felt at each particular point of each challenge. So we're just bringing something extra on top so that you, the viewers, can understand what it was really like for us and how we really felt.
So being in the jungle was a really surreal experience, to be honest, and especially the first challenge, being separated from my dad, it was really crazy. And I think that, just going into the jungle, seeing all of the different types of trees and different animals and different insects that you've never even seen in your life, I just feel like that was crazy. And to do it with people that I just met on the day and not even with my dad, it was crazy.
No, absolutely, Aki. I think that was absolutely crazy in a sense that you're dashed into this environment where you have to get to know new people, you have to form relationships with new people, and you have to survive with new people that you've never met. And as a parent, having your child out of your own comfort zone at home, having them in this environment, you're thinking, oh gosh, not only have I got to survive here, but I have my child that I have to look after and make sure that my child as well survive. So for me, that was very, very difficult. It was very, very tough.
So the first challenge was that me and my dad were separated to go into the jungle, and what we had to do was we had to trek through the jungle to get to a specific point, so where we and our dads could meet. Basically, what we had to do is we were thrown into the jungle. We was trekking, and I was trekking with all of the other children that I just met on the day. So not only was I scared of the environment, but also had to try to make conversation, to make new friends. And then after about half an hour of walking, we got to the place where we was meeting up with the dads. And then after about 15-20 minutes after we got there, then the dads came from a huge mountain tops.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you've got the timing wrong there, mate. You said about half an hour, 15 minutes. I think it was more like hours for the dads. We had to literally start trekking through the jungle. That was the first time that we actually got our first taste of the jungle. We got off the bus and Ed Stafford said, right guys, your children are stranded in that direction. And I'm looking around like, what do you mean our children are separated and stranded in another direction? And we're in a new country, it's a new environment, and all we have to do is follow a compass, right, to find these children. So it was just like, wow. So I just had to make sure I asked Ed, are you sure our children are directly down that river, Ed? And he's like, yes, your kids are down that jungle. So we started trekking through this jungle. By the time we got through all these massive trees and sharp rocks and all these creatures biting you left, right, and center, this was the first taste of the jungle that we actually got. And we were already petrified by these things, the sound, everything was so new to us, right? Anyway, we got to the top of this bloody mountain. You might as well call it a mountain. You look down, as you viewers probably have seen, and there's a massive sinkhole river thing down there. And I know a lot of you might be saying, yeah, that's just simple. But for someone that can't swim, you've been told that there's alligators and crocodiles and all kind of creatures in this country and in these waters. And they asked me to jump first. Oh my gosh. I've looked down. I've looked at Akai's face and I thought, I bet these guys can swim. I can see on their face, they're swimmers, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you. I said, if I don't jump in, Akai's gonna be so embarrassed that his dad is the only one that didn't jump down to bring him food. Because remember, we had all your food. So if we didn't deliver the food to you guys, you wouldn't have been able to eat.
Yeah.
So I'm looking down into this water now thinking, I'm really gonna jump in this bloody thing? And you know what? I said, if I die today, I die today. I'm gonna have to take the plunge for my son, right? I'm telling you guys now, that is the most scariest thing I've ever done in my life. You don't know what's inside this bloody thing. You don't know how deep it is. You can't even see the bottom. It just looks dark underneath there. Anyway, as you guys have seen, the struggle, right? I've jumped into this bloody thing now, and you got alligator protectors on your feet with these massive boots. So already that's dragging you down. And if you look at the video properly, as soon as I jumped in the current, start swinging my leg under, so it's like, mate, I was struggling, and it felt like hours. It literally felt like I was trying to get back up to the top, like. But you know what, Ak? I jumped, and that jump was for you. And make sure you always remember that. Dad would jump off the cliff for me. I literally jumped off the cliff for this child here. When I jumped, what was you thinking? Did you think I was gonna jump?
To be honest, I could see it in your face that you didn't want to jump. But I know I just had to say, oh, that you said that you was a swimmer and whatever. So, you know, I thought that you was gonna, I didn't think that you was gonna jump. But at the same time, I did, because I thought like, there's no way that he was gonna let everybody else jump and he would. Then I saw the fear in your eyes, so I'm not too sure.
Mate, there was no fear in my eyes.
Yes, there was.
That was just me like, okay, yeah, I was scared to jump in that water.
So that's the
mate.
fear in your eyes then.
I was scared to jump into that water. But I proved to you that in life, doesn't matter how scared you are, if you take the plunge, it's likely that you're gonna survive. And you know what? I survived. You should go ahead and create that business. You should go ahead and make that invention. You should go ahead and start that business and employ 1,000 people. There's no point in letting the fear hold you back. So for me, that jump should prove to children across the world and even adults across the world that go for it and you survive and you feel really good afterwards.
Yeah, I think that when I was there just looking at my dad, obviously my dad had to go first. And my dad jumped in that water and started struggling. There you go, everybody else got a bit scared for their dads. I feel like all of the other kids were kind of, you know, they were just seeing, I feel like they was seeing if my dad would test the waters to see how bad it really was. And to be honest, everybody else's dad was just swimming fine. So I feel like...
Mate, not everyone else that was swimming fine. If anyone watched the episode, they've realised that not all the dads swam fine. A few dads left bags and stuff like that. Okay, maybe one dad left his bag as well, you know. But I felt like you're right, I felt like all the kids was a little bit scared because they see how...
Yeah, how you struggled.
How I struggled.
Yeah.
You know, all I can remember is when of the child going, oh my God! You know, I think it probably was Ezra that said that. Yeah. I felt like the kids was terrified of the way that I was paddling and trying to that. Mate, I literally grabbed my bag. When you see me grab my bag, that's me out of energy. Like, everything was completely gone. So I said, let me do the old Jamaican trick, which was the dog paddling with one hand. I was hugging into my bag for dear life like that, and I was just like paddling my way to the shore. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure the kids was really scared to see me struggling to make it across.
Yeah. After that crazy experience, everybody, we got together, we ate our food that the dads had in the bag, and then we all got to trek back together. The dads got back to us and they had the burritos in their bag with chicken and rice and stuff in there. So after that, we just ate the food. You know, everyone was a bit hungry since we've been out for so long. And then we trekked back to camp. We all sat around the fire. You know, it was getting dark, so Ed had to quickly make his speech, which I'm sure you guys have all seen and all heard, where Ed took all of our phones. But for me, it was probably one of the worst parts of the trip, if I'm honest. Not having my phone.
I know that would have...
mum and stuff. So.
I know that probably would have destroyed you. But to be honest, after the jump for me, I was just filled with so much joy. like in my heart, I was so happy. I was like, thank God I jumped. Thank God I jumped. I hope Akai saw that. And I was just hoping that that jump was like giving you some serious boost for the rest of the challenges that was to come. I said, once Akai see me jump off this thing here, he's gonna actually complete all the tasks to come. He's not gonna have any fear in completing all the other challenges that was to come.
Alright, good. I'm sure everyone just saw the sarcasm on my dad's face because after that we got to the abseiling where yeah, I'm sure you guys have all seen what would happen.
Where Akai choked. Yeah,
but in my defense, I was young and I was scared.
No. You choked, and everyone tried to blame me to say, "Oh, Jeff shouting too much, Jeff's talking too much." Even Ed's like, "I wish Jeff just shut it." I'm like, Ed, I'm actually trying to boost the child here. I'm showing him like, listen to me, like the rope's not gonna break. You know what I mean? Like, just listen to your dad and follow what your dad does. I'm looking at the guy and he's just like, I can't do this. Oh my God.
Stop. Like, at first, I was gonna do it. I promise I was gonna do it. But you guys saw I slipped. Okay, I slipped. That's not my fault. I got too scared. I had to go back up. So, you know, we're not gonna talk too much about me.
No, we are gonna talk about that one, Aki. You're not getting let off that one easy, right? He was so scared his legs started shaking. And his legs shook. That's why he felt like he slipped. Are you sure your legs wasn't just shaking too?
Everybody saw that I actually slipped. So I didn't want to even hear it. You guys will see what's to come later on in the episodes. So yeah, I'm sure that you guys will be very proud of me when you see what's coming up next.
Okay, all fun and joke aside, I'm so happy that you was faced with that challenge. You know why?
Why?
Because I think that's the most scariest thing you've ever had to face in your life.
Yeah.
You was terrified. You looked down and you couldn't even see the bottom of this bloody thing. And that was the biggest challenge for you. And I could see you was just thinking in your head, how am I going to go down this thing? How am I really going to do this? And yeah, I was shouting a lot and trying to distract you with my voice, which I realized that wasn't the best strategy because it obviously didn't work. And I could see you just staring ahead thinking, Ed, please save me, please. My dad, I don't even want to hear a word my dad's saying right now. But I'm happy that you had to face that challenge because in life, you can't be in like your comfort zone all the time. I think parents should never keep their children in that comfort zone and mommy and baby them all the time because it doesn't help them to come out of their comfort zone. I felt like you having that challenge and even not accomplishing that challenge gave you something, you know. I could see how you progressed through the other challenges. And I felt like that shock, you needed that shock to your system. You can't be sitting at home every day eating wings and chips. You can't be sitting at home every day on the PS5, walking on nice flat pavements, going to sit in the office and type and do these things. I just feel like as a human being, you need things like that. So I'm happy that you actually had the experience.
Not doing that challenge, it really, at the time, it really hurt me, to be honest, because seeing everybody else complete it, I kind of felt like I was just, at the point I felt like I was a failure and I just let everybody down. But then, after I saw that somebody else didn't do it, and I saw that, okay, maybe this is not going to be the last of all the challenges and I will get another chance to prove myself. I just felt like, alright, I know that I didn't do this, but I promise that I'm going to do everything else. So at the time, it really made me like think and it made me upset. But then after a while, it did make me think, alright, cool, I'm not going to fail again and I'm going to, you know, smash everything that comes in the way.
I'll tell you what, I really wanted to swing down that mountain, Ak. I really wanted to be in the air abseiling down the mountain, proving how much of a Superman I am. Okay, we all know I would have nearly drowned when I jumped off that cliff thing. But I wanted to be on that mountain face, scaling that. That's my strong point. And you know what happened? If the child doesn't do the challenge, it means that the dad can't do the challenge. And I'm sure you guys have seen it on my face. I was just like, this boy is not climbing down the mountain. and now I'm gonna have to walk back with him. Oh my God, come on, act man. So yeah, it was a bit more of a me being a bit inconsiderate, thinking I need to get down this mountain real quick and I'm dragging my child with me, rather than thinking my child's not able to complete this challenge. Maybe I should be a bit more lighter than him. But hey, as I've always said, I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough dad. I want my son to be really tough, solid, and macho. And I'm sorry if people find it offensive. I want you to be a tough guy that can go out there and take on the world and smash down mountains. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I might have been a bit hard on you, but it's only because I'm trying to make you that type of guy. Because in life, we need real tough men that will go out and defend the country, or defend the family, or defend the community, or whatever it may be, you know? After internalizing, I said, you know what? It's my fault. I didn't teach him how to swing off mountains. I never took him rock climbing. So all these dads out here that's sitting at home letting the kids play PlayStation and that, take your child rock climbing. Take your child swimming. Take your child out the house. Like, let them do these physical activities because it benefits them later.
So thank you guys for listening. You know, this is going to be the end of episode 1/podcast 1. So I just want to say thank you guys for listening, and just be aware, because we're going to be doing this after every episode. After every episode that we see, then you guys will have a new podcast. So it will be 2 things to be excited about. So I just want to say thank you, and just thank you for listening.
Thank you guys for listening to us. Thank you for hearing how we felt during the challenges, because you may not have had the opportunity to see or experience what we experienced in much detail. So this is just us giving you that little bit extra, opening up your mind to situations behind the scene that you wouldn't have seen, how we really felt inside and how we feel going on. And as Akai rightly said, after each episode, we will be doing a breakdown, talking about what happened in those episodes and how we see it from our experience. So thank you guys, and we will see you next week. I'm now pushing my new invention geared around bonds between family, bonds between parent and child, support communities and support unit. So if you're an app developer out there, if you're an app developer, or if you are a funder, if you do graphic designing, if you do app building, and you want to get involved in developing a world-changing app, please contact us. Thank you guys.